Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're reviewing a Longines chronograph. This one is the Conquest Chrono. Now I've reviewed one before but never this blue one. I think the blue looks really nice on this one. It really makes that dial pop. One thing I would say is it's definitely a bit more subdued to some of their chronographs, the big eye and things like that. They look absolutely striking. This is definitely one which is more conservative, let's say. It's definitely not as in your face as some of those others are, but it's still ever such a good looking model. I think the dial with these blue accents just really does pop. I think that they've done some nice detail work, let's say, on the dial. I think it does look quite interesting. But before I get too far into review, I've got to say a massive thank you to the team over at First Class Watches of Kenilworth. They've been really great, super friendly, really nice, absolutely loads and loads of stock. Really worth popping into if you're in the Midlands area. If not, don't worry, I'll leave a link to their website in the description and at the bottom of the screen now. All I ask is that you please mention the channel's name if you do contact them. So anyway, let's talk sizes first. It states it's a 42mm case size, which is true, but the bezel does overhang a little bit. So the bezel works out at an extra ½ mm over that. Now, the thickness of a watch, I know everyone's going to whinge because Longines state 14.2, I think it is, but it actually works out 14.5 to 14.6. The lug to lug is 50 and the bracelet size is 22. Now, when I talk about the thickness of a watch, I know lots of people don't like that it's so thick, but what you have to remember, the base movement, what it's based on is the ETA 7750. That is 8mm before you add the hands and the hand stack on top of that. So you're talking around about 9.5mm, borderline 10. Then you have the thickness of the glass, thickness of the back, case back on there, and the clearance of all that. And that's why automatic chronographs are always generally more thicker than what you would expect, unless you're of course going to a high-end Rolex Daytona where the movement costs a lot more than the price of this watch alone. But anyway, let's look at that dial. Now the dial itself, the dial is absolutely stunning. It is available in a few different colours, but I must say the blue on this looks absolutely striking. I think that it really does look quite, it does a really good job on this, what do you call it? I would say on this dial, it just really makes it pop a little bit. Now, I like you've kind of got this texture work going around on the dial here. Then you have this outer track here, which kind of separates it up a little bit. The blue subdials, and what's really nice is these little red markers there. They look really cool. Now, there is lume on this, but it's not particularly great or anything. The lume is okay, but there again, it's not really a diver's watch. I would say it's a sports watch, being that it has got the chronograph, but it's not the best. So, but it does have it. The hands themselves are absolutely beautiful. They've got a nice polish to them, catch them in certain lights. Both the raised up hour markers and these really do pop. Now, obviously you've got this over here is your constant running second hand for your timekeeping, and the red are the chronograph. So if I actually start the chronograph, let's have a listen. It's a very subtle, I must say, it's a very subtle chronograph. The sound isn't quite as snappy as some, but it does, after all, it does the job well. Now, as you can see, there is actually a red tip to the second hand, and that actually corresponds with these, here we go, there, with the red on these subdials here. Now, one thing to be aware of, this here, the minute counter for your chrono isn't actually a jump-in type. It actually just slowly drifts round. So that's one thing to be aware of. It's not that kind of chrono where you expect it to jump across and snap to the next minute counter. Down here we have the hours. But overall, it's a solid looking watch. The dial I think looks great. We have a big chunky sapphire crystal on there, nice big bevel edge, and then we have this ceramic bezel here. It is fixed. This is tachometer, so it's a way of measuring speed over a set distance. Have I ever used one? No, I haven't, but it is there anyway. The actual case, beautifully polished along the sides. It is really quite almost a basic looking case, but it is finished incredibly well. The brushwork is really good. The polish work, nice. But I almost wish they could have bent it down a little bit more. Maybe that would have been better. Personally, it's a bit of a strange one. What's weird as well is you kind of have almost on here, almost looks like they've I think they have actually brushed this. It almost has looks like it's got lines on there. It's a bit strange. But anyway, it all adds to the detail of the watch. As we come around here, we have nice kind of recessed pushers. You can see the way they've cut this out here for the crown guards. Looks great. Signed crown. The crown itself is actually a screw down crown. It's incredibly smooth and easy to use, being that it has got it is quite a large crown. It just feels really nice when you turn it. It is very, very nice. Reset out. Let's have a reset, see how it looks. Boom, snaps back nicely. Now, as we come around the back, the movement in this is there. I've got to try and remember a name. I think it's an L898. Now, an interesting thing I found with this, when I put it on the time grapher, first time round, it was pulling +6, +7, and I thought that doesn't seem right for this caliber of watch. And so I thought I'll just quickly try a DMAG, and I did that, and then it was pulling 1 second. Now, they state this is anti-magnetic, being that it has a silicon balance spring, but obviously the rest of the watch hasn't. So it's amazing. A quick DMAG, and this went straight down to +1 second. So it lost 5 seconds off the time key, which is spot on. Now, it has got, I think it's a power reserve of 59 hours and 27 joules. So overall, it's a cracking looking movement. It's got Geneva striping on there, perlaging, all very, very nice. The one thing I should mention, it does have 100 meters of water resistant as well. Now, an interesting thing on this one is the bracelet. Polished center links, it's nicely done. It looks like it is screwed. Let me have a look on there. Looks like screw. Oh no, it isn't actually. It's not, because you can see the direction of the arrows there. That means it's got a pin system on there, because that's the way you actually push them out. Does have a butterfly clasp, which is very tight because I've left the stickers on here. So the only way, the only way to adjust it is with these half links here. So it is nice. The half links are perfectly okay. You can normally get a nice fit with them, no problem at all. Not everyone likes them. People always rave on about on-the-fly micro adjustment, but that isn't always possible. Let me put this on my wrist and get an idea how it looks. Quick, zoom out, he says. Quick wrist check. I'm wearing my Rolex Milgauss, and Bob has got on the new Captain Cook limited edition. That's really nice, actually, that one. It's a ceramic model. So my wrist size is 7¼ inches, which works out round about to 18.5 centimeters, I believe. And that's it on my wrist there. It is a bit chunky. It doesn't help the way they've designed the case size there. You can hide that thickness ever so well. After all, the Rolex SD4K is actually thicker than that, but looks a lot slimmer. But overall, it's a nice looking watch, I think. Anyway, guys, I'll leave you to it with that, but most importantly, stay safe out there. Take care. Bye.